Hoffman Show. We're on the Team 980, always live as well on the free Odyssey app, and we stream on YouTube as well at the Team 980, where you see Mark Ein is with us, the chairman and CEO of the Mubadala Citi Open, coming back to DC this July. Of course, he is also a partner with the Washington Commanders. We'll talk about a little bit of both. But Mark, welcome to the show. Great to see you.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
So let's do the Commander stuff off the top, and then I am a huge tennis fan, so I'm very excited to talk tennis. Obviously, most people in the audience know you. Probably they know the Citi Open. It's been a DC institution for a long time, but we're a very Commanders heavy show. I just want to ask you, like, very broadly, when you got into this with Josh, who you've known since elementary school, and you see the totality of what you guys have done here in a couple years, not just on the field, but you're lobbying the federal government. You're involved in DC City Council. You're hiring executives. You're hiring coaches. You're doing construction. There's so many facets to what your group is doing. Did you have an idea that this was going to be as involved as it has been, or has this been bigger? For, like, you probably knew it was a big bite, but maybe a larger mouthful than you bargained for.
No, I think the mission here was we know how beloved this franchise was, how much the team meant to people, families, companies, jurisdictions. Like we knew what this meant. And, I've been here for the last 30 plus years. So I've lived through, sort of the decline and the irrelevance. And Josh grew up here and stays close to it. And, Mitch is here. And so we understood what it was a long time ago, what it was when we got there, but also what it can't, could, and should be. We also knew it wasn't going to be easy. We knew all of these things. We knew it was a rebuild on the football side, the business side, the stadium side. Like we knew it, but that's honestly what we all love to do. Like that's what we spend our lives doing. We love building things, all of us. I mean, look at the companies that Josh has built, Apollo and the portfolio companies. Mitch has built Danaher, like the stuff I've built, and you've seen the turnaround in the tennis tournament. Like this is our passion. It's what gives us energy. And so I don't think we underestimated what it would be. I think what's been so rewarding is just how quickly fans have embraced the team again. And when I go around town, the amount of people who stop me just to say thanks, and it's like you're giving them back something that they treasured and they had lost, and that is so gratifying. It makes all the hard work really, really worthwhile.
You know, Mark, that answer actually doesn't really surprise me at all, because it felt like as you all came in, you realized the gargantuan nature of this task, how multifaceted it is, and seem to have a plan of attack that's allowed you to operate at the speed you have. So this is probably something we could do like an hour podcast on, but I'll just ask you one question and then we'll get to the tennis tournament. But like
Yeah.
when you take over, an asset, a company, or you think about building something, like how do you like what's the first thing on the to-do list to understand how to build to ensure that you can get to step 2 and step 3 and step 4 as you go?
There's really two things. The first thing is what's our mission? What do we stand for? So, like, what is it that this is all about, and what do we stand for? What are your values? What's the mission? What are the values? And we literally did that before we closed. And all of us, Josh does that with all of his companies. Mitch lives by that in his, and I live by it in ours. And so, and then you get alignment. Does everyone agree? So then you sort of have the mission and the values you're going to stand for. And then you just have to make sure you have people who are there who are aligned and buy into that, and that every decision you make is guided by them. Where organizations get off is you put those there, but then there's a short-term gain that goes against your value and you do it, and then the whole thing crumbles. So mission and values. And then the second thing is leadership. Do you have the right people in leadership? And when people, look, we're all excited after last year and the potential of what could happen on the field this year. What I'm most excited about truly is the leadership of this organization. When you look at Adam Peters as GM, Dan Quinn voted best coach by the NFLPA, an incredible culture coach. Then the people they've been able to attract under them, which is incredible. The number of those people who got offered the big job, GM jobs, head coaching jobs, who said, no, I'm going to stay here because I want to be part of it. That speaks volumes. And now on the business side, we have Mark Klaus, who's an extraordinary CEO, extraordinary brand builder. It's like he didn't come from sports. We interviewed him in sports. We're like, this is the right guy because he's a culture guy and he's a brand guy and he's a leader. And so when I think not just this year, but I look at the next 10 years, we have a mission we're all agreeing on. We have a set of values we've all bought into. And then we have this incredible leadership team now also supported by the people under them. Like you can't predict what's going to happen, but you've kind of laid the foundation for hopefully a lot of good things over a long time.
Mark Gine, the CEO and chairman of the Mubadala Citi Open, with us here on the Hoffman Show, of course, limited partner with the Commanders as well. So you talk about the tennis tournament, flipping that. You took over as chairman in 2019. What'd you inherit, and what do you think it is now as you embark on this summer where you have 7 top 10, either WTA or ATP players coming to play already in DC, with potentially more getting added to that list closer to?
Yeah, I mean, I like this is there's a lot of similarities. The tennis tournament we took it over. It's the only ATP 500 on tour. It's the fifth biggest tennis tournament in the United States. I was a ball kid when I was a little kid. The two things I cared most about as a little kid growing up in Chevy Chase, going to Rollingwood Elementary School with Josh and Leland Junior High and BCC, was the tennis tournament where I was a ball kid and the football game where I'd go with my dad. Like those were the two things that meant the most to me. And so this tennis tournament, as I was an adult and I would go, it's like the tennis is great, but the experience is not what it needs to be. And so when we took over, we were very ambitious and very quick in making changes. Like before we took over, there was nowhere indoor or air conditioning to go unless you were in the VIP tent. And like it's July in the middle of DC. The food was the Park Service food. It was not. And so we took it over with only 4 months, but came in and built new facilities, brought in new food, and we've kept building on that. And so now there's these great venues, indoor places, tequila bars, wine bars, like all this stuff, and 4 Michelin star chefs, best of DC food and wine. So what happened is when we took it over, 20% of the tickets were full tournament tickets and 80% people bought it by the day. We're now almost just 5 years later, we're almost opposite that. It's 75%
Wow.
people committing the whole tournament. And what happened is people are like, I'm not just coming once, I'm coming every day because I can have great food, have great drinks, bring my other friends. I'm so close to the players. And so we've sold every ticket for the last 4.5 years. This year, 100% will happen. That's never going to change. And it's all the result of these investments. And then you talk about the players, we also had to really invest in the player facility. So we built this fantastic compound on site with amazing food. We literally, especially European players, coffee is the thing that matters the most to them. So we fly America's best barista in every year from Michigan to serve. And the players like that kind of touch, they love. We have great gyms there. And then we put them up at an incredible hotel. It costs us more than other places. But literally, I was talking to one of the players' agents who came yesterday, and he said, the way you treat the players, the quality of their hotels, and everything they do when they experience in DC is why so many players now want to be here. This is really great.
All right, I have so many follow ups. First of all, how do you get named America's best barista? How has this guy
It's
hung
good.
on to his title so long? And I need to know more
I-
about the barista, Mark.
Yeah, well, you can interview him on site this year. I don't know
Okay.
what award he won, but he did win that award, and we pay a lot to have him come and make our players happy.
Whatever it is, he's working. All
It's
right, that's
good.
good. DC's food scene is amazing. I love the fact that you can get some of the best cuisine of any kind in the world in this city. So why was that something that you focused on to tap into that part of DC's culture? And how did that process go of recruiting these chefs to come together to the same thing? Because I could imagine I mean, the food scene is incredibly competitive. Someone might be like, "No, I'll go," but not if he's coming or she's coming. So
Yeah.
how did you get the collaborative nature to build this environment that you have?
So look, I love food too, like you. And I like the thing that drives me crazy is if I go to a sporting event and I can't eat the food and I've got to eat before after. And the thing about a tennis tournament is it's not just 1 2 hour match. If you can go stay 6 7 8 9 hours. But what would happen there is that you couldn't eat the food. So you'd come for the match and you'd leave. And it's like if we can create the venues, the food, the drinks, that experience and curate something special with a lot of variety, it's people will come, they'll stay for 6 or 7 hours and they'll come day in and day out. And so that was the vision from the very beginning. And the very first thing we did, I got my friend Jose Andres, obviously a legend in town, and he came aboard. Yeah, unreal. But we got Duke's Grocery, like the best burger in DC. We have Dolcezza ice cream. I mean, it goes on and on and on. And then over time, it's like the players. Like this tournament used to have to chase players to come play this tournament, and they would have to go chase them. Every player we announced today came to us and said, I want to come to DC. The chefs come to us, restaurants come to us. We haven't announced all the new ones who are coming. Last 2 years, we've had 4 Michelin star chefs. So Jose in at Little Washington, Nicholas
Ooh.
Stefanelli from Officina and Masseria. We had Albie there last year and the Dabney. And we'll have something very similar this year. Plus, not just the high end, but also just the best of DC everything. And I can't wait to tell people about the other ones who are new. And we if you look, there's food stuff, there's Latteray macaroons and stuff. These are people calling us saying, how do I get a presence on this site? Because it's kind of a tennis tournament wrapped in a food and wine festival, and I want to be there. So it works great for everyone.
Well, if you want to announce any of the food people on our show and they want to, bring a sampler too,
I'll,
you just, your show
I'll
knows how
do
to get in
that.
touch with my show, so to speak.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Graffiti is amazing at Albie and Yellow. And by the way, congrats to Jose on the Chef's Table episode that just came out, part of the Legend series. That was very, very fun to watch. More about his story. All right, last thing for you, Mark, on the players front, one of the guys who's coming back this year, DC's very own, Francis Tiafoe. I know the relationship has been tight with him over the years, and obviously this is his hometown tournament. So how big of a role has Francis played over the years in being a part of this tournament as a player, just as a player, as someone who's risen through the ranks and been a high profile player, and then also as an ambassador for the city?
Yeah, I mean, it's just so fantastic to have Francis, just someone of his passion and character and the light that he exudes, part of our city and part of it. I mean, another, like, just the way the world works, it's so small, is, people know this story that Francis's dad was the maintenance guy at the Junior Tennis Champion Center in College Park. Coincidentally, it was my mentor in life, when I worked in New York, who moved to DC and built that place. And so I've known Francis and his family since Francis was like 5 years old. And as years have gone on, we built a friendship. I try to mentor him in things outside of tennis. We talk all the time. So there's a personal connection, but then just what it means for our city when he shows up and is playing the night match there, it's so electric. And it's also where Francis shines. Like, he loves the biggest stages. And I know he said after winning a Grand Slam, winning DC would mean more to him than anything else. He really wants to get his name on the awning, and I hope he can do it one year. But he's just like the perfect, his life story, how he carries himself, his spirit of generosity, how great he is around everyone during that week. It's one of the things that makes the tournament that so special.
He's going to have some stiff competition, which is
Yeah, he
great
will.
this year, including other top Americans, Tommy Paul, Taylor Fritz, amazing names on the women's side as well. Mark, this was so great to have you on the show. Hopefully we'll have you back soon, maybe even announcing some food. The Mubadala Citi Open is coming back to DC this July. Get your tickets now because they are almost sold out. Mark, thanks for your time, and we really appreciate it.
I appreciate you. Thanks a lot. Look forward to seeing you soon.
Hey, this is DA, and you're listening to The Hoffman Show on the Team 980 and the Odyssey app.